Your Honor, we're ready to proceed.
All right, thank you very much.
And Your Honor, this is the interpreter. As a preliminary, could we confirm that Mr. Alvarez in fact needs an interpreter?
Sir, Mr. Alvarez, ¿necesita
Sí.
un intérprete?
Sí, señor.
Okay,
Para poder
Thank you.
entender mejor.
gracias. Un momento.
Thank you.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Okay, good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Soy
Buenos
Alejandro
días,
Alvarez.
señor. Dígame su nombre, por favor.
Soy Alejandro Alvarez Jr.
Alejandro Alvarez Jr.
All right, sir, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on one charge that alleges that you discharged a firearm in the city limits.
Buenos días, señor. Esta audiencia es la comparecencia inicial. Se le acusa a usted de una acusación formal de haber disparado un arma dentro de los límites municipales.
You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this case could be used against you.
Tiene derecho a guardar silencio, señor. Cualquier cosa que diga sobre esta causa podría usarse en contra suya.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney during all proceedings in this case. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you.
Tiene usted derecho a tener representación legal en todos los procedimientos en su causa. Puede asignar al abogado de oficio del condado Pima, Public Defender's Office, para que se encarguen de su defensa.
You have an attorney with you this morning to help you out. And in order to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Your Honor. Sorry.
Yeah, in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, the state's recommendation in the interim complaint.
Tiene usted a su lado una abogada defensora esta mañana. Para preparar la audiencia de hoy, he leído los informes que se me aportaron por la Agencia de Servicios previos al juicio, la recomendación de la Fiscalía, tanto como la querella inicial.
The state is requesting that I release you to the supervision of pretrial services. That's what I'm inclined to do. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Nothing further.
La Fiscalía recomienda que se les permita salir de la cárcel para ser vigilado y supervisado por la Agencia de Servicios previos al juicio, Pretrial Services. Después de esto, le pregunta al abogado de la Fiscalía que si tiene una recomendación adicional y él dice que no.
All right, counsel?
No, Judge, nothing further.
All right.
Y la abogada defensora dice que tampoco tiene más que comentar.
All right, sir, I am going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services.
Sí le voy a permitir que salga de la cárcel el día de hoy, señor, para seguir siendo monitoreado y supervisado por la Agencia de Servicios previos al juicio, Pretrial Services.
So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with.
Entonces, haga favor de cumplir con cualquier nivel de monitoreo o recomendaciones de tratamientos que le recomienden ellos.
I'm also going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons and you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs.
Y también le voy a poner las condiciones adicionales de no tener en posesión armas de fuego ni de consumir licor o drogas ilícitas.
And sir, your next hearing is a preliminary hearing, March 4th. That's March 4th, 1:30 in the afternoon.
La próxima audiencia en su caso, señor, se programa para el día 4 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde. Será una audiencia preliminar.
Please stay in contact with your attorney because they can tell you more about that next court date, okay?
Es importante que siga en contacto y comunicación con el abogado que se le designe porque ellos podrán comunicarle lo que se lleva a cabo después.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Es todo por hoy. Puede retirarse, señor. And may the interpreter be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may, Mr. Davis. Have a good day.
Thank you, and you as well.
And Your Honor, if I could interrupt for 1 minute.
Sure.
There at the jail, I sent the recommendations, or I copied the recommendations to Jacob Marsh. Did you receive a copy of the state's recommendations?
I did, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Christina Tapia Flores.
All right, Ms. Tapia Flores, I'm seeing you to essentially touch up some paperwork. It sounds like you may have
Okay.
been seen last night or perhaps yesterday morning. Give me just a moment, ma'am, and this should not take very long.
Okay.
So you were seen, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it sounds like you may have been seen on a shoplifting, a new failure to appear warrant alleging that you committed a shoplifting offense. And so at that time of that hearing, inadvertently, you were released to the supervision of pretrial services. However, given that this is a misdemeanor offense, the appropriate way to handle that was to release you on your promise to appear. So no pretrial services release. So I'm going to make that change right now. And your next court date is the same day and time as the last paperwork that you got. It's going to be a case management conference on March 2nd. That's Monday, March 2nd in Justice Court here downtown. So that takes care of it, ma'am. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Have a good day.
So, second, that's when I have to go?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Lindsay Sheriff.
All right, Chenoweth, this is your initial appearance. I've seen you on a couple different things, so give me just a moment here. So I'm seeing you on one matter out of Marana Municipal Court, and then 3 matters out of Tucson City Court. Let's talk about Marana first. So the matter out of Marana alleges that you failed to appear in reference to misdemeanor charges involving DUI and shoplifting. And then the city court matters allege that you failed to appear in relation to different charges involving disorderly conduct, leaving the scene of an accident, possession of drug paraphernalia, another count of leaving the scene of an accident. As to all these matters, ma'am, you are presumed innocent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. And let's see. What I'm seeing here is a pattern of you not coming back to court in different courthouses with what appears to be 4 different cases. So in light of that, I'm going to release you on the Marana City Court case but I'm going to hold you on the Tucson City Court cases. And so give me a moment, we'll talk more. Your next court date on the Marana Municipal Court case is going to be on March 11th. That's March 11th at 10 o'clock in the morning for a case management conference. So you need to go up there and be present at that if you're out of custody, because if you don't do that, then I think you know what happens. A warrant issues for your arrest and you'll find yourself back in custody. Additionally, the court is going to order that you not return to the incident location. You consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You do not drive without a valid license. So that takes care of that one. Then we're going to move on to the city court matters. Again, it alleges a variety of failures to appear. On those cases, I'm going to hold you on a $500 cash secured bond. That's one bond across all of the cases. And so that will take care of that, but give me just a second because I need to talk to you about a couple other things. Have no contact with any of the alleged victims in those matters. And then your next court date is going to be on February 20th. That's February 20th for a video review at 1:45 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this. That hearing is going to be in front of Judge Bond. But it's important that you come back to that one too. If you post that bond, you're out of custody. It's important that you come back, because if you don't do that, ma'am, you know the story. You get a warrant, you'll get arrested again. One other thing that I need to talk with you about is that this is also the time set for your arraignment on the city court matters. You are presumed innocent of all the city court matters. It's important that you come back to court, not just because of that warrant issue, but also because trial could go forward in your absence on these city court cases. If you were convicted at that trial, couldn't be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all this, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You are excused.
Done. Out there,
Can you check the city on there, please? Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please tell me your name.
Jose Duran.
Second. So, Mr. Duran, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that you committed one count of disorderly conduct, one count of assault, both of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. It's alleged to have happened yesterday afternoon, about 4:15 in the afternoon. You're presumed innocent of these charges, sir. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about him could be used against you. Give me just a moment. Okay, so it looks like the victim, Miss Nareda Duran, indicated that on one hand, she does not object to your release from custody, so she's okay with you being released today. However, on the other hand, she would like no further contact with you, and you are not welcome to return home. So if I release you, sir, do you have a different place to go besides that 7560 South address?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, sir, is I am going to release you on these matters with certain conditions. So give me just a second. I'll tell you more about them. Okay, so I am going to release you on your promise to appear, sir, with the following conditions. You're going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, have no contact with the alleged victim, do not go to the alleged victim's residence and or place of work. Your next court date is going to be an arraignment. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but it's an arraignment on Monday, February 23rd, 10:30 in the morning in Justice Court downtown. Sir, it's important that you do so, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest, okay? You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alan.
Aayon.
Aye.
Good morning, man. Could you please tell me your name?
Esperanza Aayon.
All right, Miss Aayon, just a moment.
Sir.
So this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that you committed 3 counts of disorderly conduct, making basically disorderly conduct, unreasonable noise. All 3 are alleged to be acts of domestic violence, and all 3 alleged to have happened this morning about 3 o'clock in the morning. You are presumed innocent of all these charges, man. So give me a second here.
Hold on, I have a quick question. You said at 3,
Go ahead.
you said at 3 in the morning. I was on my way here at like. Correct information.
Yeah. So it's just with the citation list. You're presumed innocent of all of this. So, I'm not taking it as gospel, the information that's included in the citation. It's just the allegations, ma'am. So,
I understand.
I am inclined to release you, ma'am, but a couple things. So the minor victim, or the victims in this case, are alleged to be your daughters, Jasmine and Jayla, and in addition to a minor aged grandchild, Jayla. And so, just a moment. So I am willing to release you. However, the victim's input about whether or not they're okay with your release, whether or not they're okay with you returning home or having contact with them, couldn't be gotten before this hearing this morning. So because of that, if I release you, I'm going to order that you not go back to the incident location and you have no contact with the victims. Are you willing to follow that order, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And it's possible. So the thing is that there's an absence of information right now. We don't know how Jasmine and Jayla feel about all this. So if it turns out that they do not oppose you, they don't have a problem with you having contact with them, then that's something that they can express to the judge at the next court date. Okay, and they may be able to get that condition switched. But for today's sake, the order is that you have no contact with them and that you do not go back to the incident location. Do you live at that same address?
I do,
Okay.
but I have somewhere to go. I've
Okay.
already arranged somewhere to go.
Yeah, I did note that. I see in the pretrial services information, a former partner named Alexandra is offered for a place for you to live. If that's where you were thinking, great. If it's somewhere
Yes,
else,
it
that's
is.
fine too, as long as it's not at the same place. Do you have belongings at the home that you need to get?
Just my car.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to mark on here that you may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. It'll be pretty easy because the car is presumably outside or in a garage, so you don't need to like enter the home. But it's just important that you have an officer from the Tucson Police Department or some other officer go with you when you do that. It's a fairly common practice, so it shouldn't be a big deal, okay?
I understand.
Alrighty, ma'am. Let me tell you what your next court date is. Your next court date is going to be on March 13th at 9:30 in the morning. Excuse me, that's going to be a pretrial in front of Judge Cranshaw in City Court. You're going to get paperwork that says all this. This is also the time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent of these charges. You need to come back to court, though, because not only could a warrant issue for your arrest if you don't come back to court, but trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted at that trial and could not be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, then you lose the ability to appeal the conviction. Do you understand, ma'am?
I understand.
Thank you very much. You're excused. You'll be released in the next couple hours, probably.
Thank you.
Well,
Oop.
good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Just tell me your name.
Luke Greenland.
All right, Beanland, this is your initial appearance, sir. I'm seeing you on a couple misdemeanor charges, one of which alleges that you committed disorderly conduct as an act of domestic violence, and then another that you consumed alcohol as somebody that's not quite 21 yet. You're presumed innocent of both of these charges. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. So I'm inclined to release you, sir, but I have a couple conditions that I need to impose. The first is that you commit no acts of domestic violence and that you have no contact with Miracle Allison. Before the court hearing, we couldn't, pretrial services tried to get a hold of her to see what her position was on future contact with you. They couldn't get her input. She didn't answer the phone or otherwise, one way or another, they weren't able to get a hold of her. So it's unclear how she feels about all this. And so for that reason, for the time being, I'm ordering that you have no contact with her. If it turns out that she's okay with contact, that's something that the judge at your next hearing can be told. And if that happens, then the judge may be willing to switch that condition. Does that make sense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to release you today. It's going to be on your promise to appear. So the important things are that you don't have any contact with Miss Allison unless and until another judge says otherwise. You commit no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but your next court date is going to be on St. Patrick's Day. So that's March 17th, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Tucson City Court in front of Judge Million. This is also the time set for your arraignment, sir. So I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf for these charges. And it's important that you come back, not only because you could get a warrant if you don't, but also trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted at trial and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because you weren't there, I mean, you were convicted in absentia is what it's called, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. You're excused. You should be out of the jail in a couple hours or so, okay?
Thank you.
You got it. Good morning, man. Please tell me your name.
Is that Ayala?
All right, Miss Ayala, this is your initial appearance. Looks like you've been charged with one count that alleges that you committed child abuse alleged to be an act of domestic violence. So you're presumed innocent of that, ma'am. Anything you say about the charge could be used against you, and you do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on this matter, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. You have an attorney seated to your left for the purpose of today's hearing. She's going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial, and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services. Anything further on that, Mr. Kaler?
No, Your Honor, nothing further. It's in the written recommendation.
All right, thank you very much. And counsel?
No, Judge, we also would request pretrial services release.
All right, given the information before the court does agree that pretrial services is appropriate. So I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, ma'am, with certain conditions. At the top of the list is that you possess no firearms or weapons. So please don't do that. Your next court date is going to be March 4th. That's Wednesday, March 4th, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be a preliminary hearing. So please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office because they can tell you more about what all is going on with that. Please submit to whatever monitoring or treatment pretrial services ask you to submit to. And it's important that you come back to any future court date because if you do not do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand, man?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. You're excused. Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Roy Andres Alan.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Roy Andres Alan.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry about that. All right, so this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a charge that alleges that you committed aggravated shoplifting, sir. You are presumed innocent of this charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about it could be used against you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. You do have an attorney seated to your left that's going to help you out for the purpose of this hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint and the state's recommendation. I almost also seen you on two matters out of Tucson City Court that we're going to talk about in a moment here. But starting first with the felony, the state is recommending that I release you to pretrial services. I will say that I am not inclined to release on this matter, given a couple things. The 6 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale, the 5 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, and the volume of shoplifting allegations that are encompassed across a stretch of time. So, Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, we understand the court's inclination, and given Mr. Alan's history of failure to appear, we understand that. But given the nature of this offense and his lack of prior felony history, we believe pretrial services release may be appropriate.
Okay, thank you very much, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. I would also request pretrial services release, given the lack of felony history. Also, the fact that his mother indicated that he would be willing to help with transport and confirm that he would be able to live with her. And so for that reason, I would ask for release of pretrial services.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so the court is gonna impose an $1,100 cash secured bond. Mr. Alon, if you post that bond, you are gonna be supervised by pretrial services, so please submit to any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to submit to. And so additional conditions are that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you do not go back to any Circle K location at all. Do you understand that? Whether it's 1025 East Ajo or any other Circle K location. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. In light of that $1,100 bond, you need to come back to court, sir. Your next court date's a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. Stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office because they can keep you up to speed on what's going on with all that. If you don't come back to court in the future, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest, okay? You're excused. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Hold on. Sorry, I missed the city court stuff. Got two matters out of city court we're going to talk about real quick. My apologies. And out of city courts, what I'm seeing you on is a new file that alleges that you committed criminal trespass in the 3rd degree and possession of drug paraphernalia. Looks like it may be born out of the same incident at that Circle K at 1025 East Ajo. And I've got another file that alleges that you committed theft and possession of drug paraphernalia. And again, that appears to have happened at some sort of Circle K. And so as to those, sir, I'm actually going to release you on the city court matters. So just a second. For that, the court's going to set a non-transport review. That's going to be on March 13th at 9 a.m. If you're still in custody, sir, you'll be seen on video for that. And so additionally, conditions for that are that you do not go back to any Circle K. And I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you on that, sir. So that should take care of that. All right, thank you, sir. You are excused. Didn't rain him. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Your name?
Jeanette Alvarado.
Ms. Alvarado, one moment, please. All right, so Ms. Alvarado, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed dangerous drugs and you possess drug paraphernalia. And it looks like, just a moment, it's actually possession of a dangerous drug for sale. And so on that charge, on these charges, ma'am, you are presumed innocent. Anything you say could be used against you because you do have the right to remain silent. So you have the right to be represented by an attorney. And I am appointing the Pima County legal defender to represent you. You have an attorney seated to your left. It's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And in order to prepare or review the information in the interim complaint, the information for pre-trial and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $5,000 cash secured bond. Anything further, Mr. Kaler?
Your Honor, there was a substantial amount of methamphetamine in Ms. Alvarado's possession. I believe it was just over 30 grams. For that reason, Your Honor, I believe a bond is appropriate.
Okay, thank you very much. And counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Alvarado has no recent failures to appear. She is a lifelong resident of Tucson. Although pretrial services was not able to reach the reference she provided, it looks like her driver's license is at the same address that she provided. So I would assume that she does have that as confirmed. And her last felony conviction is from 2008. And so given that, I would ask for release to pretrial services.
Okay.
And Your Honor,
Go for it.
to correct my previous statement, it was a little over 27 grams, so not over 30 grams.
Thank you very much. Just a moment. Ma'am, I am willing to, it's a close one, but I'm willing to release you the supervision of pretrial services under certain conditions, including that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you submit to any sort of monitoring or treatment that pretrial services ask you to submit to. And so you need to come back to court too. I'm setting your preliminary hearing. It's going to be on March 4th. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. And stay in contact with your attorney at the legal defender's office because they can tell you more about that and what all's going on with it. If you do not come back to court to future court dates, ma'am, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Welcome to here.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Just tell me your name.
Paul Anthony Carbello.
All right, Carbello, this is your initial appearance. Give me just a second. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed aggravated assault on a police officer, 2 counts of that. And so as to those charges, sir, you are presumed innocent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing or review the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services. Anything further, Mr. Kaler?
No, nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, we would also request release of pretrial services.
All right. So given the information that I have, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with, sir. Additional conditions are that you possess no firearms or weapons, so consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 4th, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Pima County. Well, just stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender. They can tell you more about that. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this, but it's important that you come back to future court dates, sir, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could get arrested again. Okay. You're excused. And additionally, one last thing, have no contact with the victims. I'm sorry, I didn't state that, but I'm putting it on the paperwork. And sir, I apologize. Just one last thing, sir. You're going to be ordered to not have any contact with the victim, so please don't do that. It'll be on the paperwork. But other than that, sir, you're good to go. Have a good day. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Just tell me your name.
Felix.
All right, Mr. Felix, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a few different matters. Seeing you on a new felony matter, and then I'm also seeing you on matters out of Tucson City Courts. And so as to the new felony matters, they are charges that include possession of a narcotic drug, possession of dangerous drug, and then possession of drug paraphernalia. And so as to those charges and the city court stuff we're going to talk about involves you failing to appear on a couple cases involving possession of drug paraphernalia. As to all this stuff, sir, you're presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $1,000 bond with release to pretrial services if that bond is posted, and also that I set a steps court hearing. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, because of Mr. Felix's felony history and also the recent and repeated failures to appear, I believe a bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you. I'm inclined, I'm going to hear from counsel for Mr. Felix, but I do show also that Mr. Felix is a 6 out of 6 on both the NCA scale and the failure to appear scale. So counsel, what would you like me to know?
Yes, Your Honor, I would just emphasize that these are nonviolent drug steps eligible allegations. And so given that, I would just ask for an opportunity at pretrial services for these.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, given the history of failing to appear, the court is going to impose that $1,100 cash secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you are going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And also, sir, it looks like you may be eligible for a program called STEPS, which is a pretty good program in the sense that assuming that you're eligible for it, it's a way that you could complete some drug treatment and have these charges dismissed without you ever being indicted, sir. Is that something that you're interested in hearing more about?
Sure.
Yes? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a STEPS hearing for you, sir. It's going to be 1 week from today. That's Thursday, February 19th. It's going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning in front of Judge Miller. Please come to that hearing. If you're still in custody, you'll be brought to court. But if you're out of custody, it's important that you come back to court for that. That's Superior Court downtown on the 3rd floor. Because if you do not come back for that STEPS hearing, sir, a week from today, you could lose the ability to participate in this program. And it's a really good program, sir. I mean, if you're eligible for it, it's something that is very advantageous. So in any event, your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, February 23rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And if you do not show up for future court dates, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest. So it's just important to come back to court. All right. You, sir, are excused. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the city stuff. I'm sorry. I'm really spacey today. Sarah, can you come back? I'm sorry. Sorry about that. We've got some city matters I got to talk to you about real quick. So you also are being seen on failures to appear involving allegations of possessing drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, camping in a park. So on all those matters, sir, you're presumed innocent. I'm going to release you on the city court stuff. And so on those, we're going to set a non-transport review hearing. That's going to be on March 13th. And so March 13th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so if you're still in custody, you'll be seen on video. If you're out of custody by then it's important that you come back to that court date. So on that, as I said, I'm going to release you on that. And that should take care of it. I am also going to, on this one, given what all's going on, I am going to appoint the city public defender on that. Okay, sir, you're excused. Thank you for your patience. All right. There you go. Okay. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
My name is Ismael Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, this is your initial appearance. Seeing you on a couple different things. First is a new felony arrest allegation that alleges that you possessed a dangerous drug, possessed drug paraphernalia, and then also that you committed shoplifting and criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. I'm also seeing you on some stuff out of city court that alleged that you failed to appear on a couple of cases involving possession of drug paraphernalia. So as all this stuff, you are presumed innocent, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and it is going to be the Pima County Public Defender is going to be your attorney, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I'll review the interim complaint, the information from pretrial, and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services. Anything further, Mr. Kaler?
Your Honor, I know Mr. Garcia has some failure to appear warrants out of city court, and I am also concerned that it appears he hasn't been in Tucson for a very long time. He reported living here for about a month and being homeless. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I'm concerned about release. But Mr. Garcia is, I believe, STEPS eligible. He does not have any prior felony history, and so I am recommending pretrial services and hoping to emphasize that the STEPS program is potentially a way for him to get plugged in, not only with drug treatment, but potentially with community resources around housing. So that's the purpose of the recommendation.
Okay, thank you for that. Makes sense to me. He does have a little bit less of a failure to appear history than the gentleman that we saw earlier. So counsel, for Mr. Garcia, what would you like me to know?
Yes, Your Honor, I would also request pretrial services release given the STEPS eligible charges and his left leg.
All right, so Mr. Garcia, I am willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring agreement that they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drug. And so it's really important that you come back to court, sir, and whatever the background noise is, I don't know if it's at the jail or where it's coming from, but if people could maybe quiet down a little bit, I'm just having too much crosstalk here. All right, thank you. So it's important that you come back to court, sir, because if you don't do that, a warrant issues for your arrest. You could lose the ability to participate in this STEPS program that I'm going to talk to you about in a second. And really, the bottom line is that whatever problems you have now have a way of multiplying. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I am going to release you to pretrial services. Your next court date, is you willing to waive time on the preliminary hearing for STEPS?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set your preliminary hearing. It's going to be on March 30th. That's going to be at 1:30 in the afternoon. So please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender because they can tell you more about that. I'm also, sir, I mentioned this STEPS stuff. So it looks like you're eligible for a program called STEPS, which is a really good deal because what it is it asks you and requires you to complete some drug treatment. And if you do that, sir, and then you can graduate the program. And if you do that, the charges get dismissed before you even get indicted. So not only do you not even get a conviction, you don't even get indicted on the case. So it's a pretty good opportunity. Is that something that you're interested in hearing more about, sir?
Yes, sir. 12 steps sounds great.
Okay, well, it's something like that. I mean, it's not quite a 12-step program, but it's tailored to your needs in large part. So in any event, because you're telling me that you're interested in hearing more about that, learning more about it, doesn't obligate you to anything. But the one thing that you do need to do is you need to come to the hearing for that case. It's 1 week from today. That's on Thursday, February 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be in Superior Court downtown on the 3rd floor. That's the 3rd floor in front of Judge Miller. You're going to get paperwork that has this info, but please come back to that hearing because if you don't do that, sir, you could lose the ability to participate in STEPS, and it's something that you probably want with your attorney. I mean, you have choices here, but it's a really good opportunity, sir. So as I said, your preliminary hearing's on March 30th, so it's important that you stay in contact with your attorney for that. If you don't come back to future court dates, things get worse, including warrants being issued, losing the ability to participate in STEPS, and so forth. So that takes care of the felony. Let me move on to the city court stuff. So on those, I am going to release you on those matters as well. But again, you need to come back to court for those. You're going to have another hearing in city court. You're going to get paperwork that says that. But it's important that you come back to that one because you know what happens if you don't. So we're going to set your next court date. It's going to be on March 16th. It's going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a pretrial. And you're going to be ordered to possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. And this is also the time set for your arraignment on this matter, sir. You're presumed innocent of these charges. One other thing I need to tell you is that you need to come back to court. I've said that many, many times, but it's particularly important on these city court matters because if you don't come back to court, you could be convicted in your absence. And if you were convicted in your absence, sir, and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose the ability to appeal your conviction. Also, one other thing I want to mention to you, sir, given that you're being released, is that right outside the jail, this may or may not be something that is helpful for you. But right outside the jail, there's a building. It's like a trailer outside the jail that is called the Transition Center. They have different support systems for folks. Like if you need a cell phone, if you need certain supports like that, it can help you out getting that, kind of help you get back on your feet a little bit. So if that's something you're interested in checking out, sir, be sure to remember that as you emerge from the jail later today. And I believe there's actually like a painted pathway on the sidewalk that will take you from where you walk out of the jail to the building that's on the same property. Okay, sir, you are excused. There you go. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Just send your name.
Hey, Carter.
Mr. Gardner, just a moment. So this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a couple things, one of which is a felony, one of which is a misdemeanor. The first is and you're being seen on new charges that have actually been indicted. So this is your initial appearance on an indicted matter alleging that you possessed a dangerous drug and you possessed a narcotic drug. The incident date is alleged to be February 16th of 2025, so almost exactly a year ago. And then on top of that, I'm seeing you on a matter alleging that you failed to appear on a possession of drug paraphernalia case at a Marana City Court. So we're going to start with a felony. As to all of these things, you do have the right to remain silent. You are presumed innocent, and anything you say about these matters could be used against you. On the felony, I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pre-trial and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $2,000 bond. Mr. Taylor, anything further?
Nothing further.
Okay, and counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, given that these are low-level drug possession charges, I would ask that the court give an opportunity on pretrial services, please.
Okay, just a second. Okay, sir. So it does appear that we may not have had a good address for you for the last time that when this warrant initially issued. So are you, is the address on West Gardner still good for you, sir?
No.
Okay, and so that's something that we need to get. Do you have a good address these days, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, and so just a second. So what I'm going to do is if you could let your attorney know who's seated to your left what it is, maybe she can write it down or something. Then if we could just have it emailed over to the initial appearance clerk over here, we can have that updated in the paperwork. I'm saying all this because it's important that we have a good address for you so that this doesn't happen in the future. And so I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but having a good address for you is going to be important because it will help prevent this from happening in the future. Your next court date is going to be an arraignment. It's going to be 1 week from today, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's February 19th, 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And then if we could just get your address emailed over to Anisa, then that would be terrific. It's important that you come back to future court dates, sir, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest, okay? You are excused. Well, hold on. We got to talk about the misdemeanor at Marana. So we're done with the felony. Then as it relates to the misdemeanor, I'm going to release you on that one as well. So your next court date is going to be up in Marana on that. And that's going to be on March 11th at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's important that you come back to that court date. And because if you don't do that, you know what happens. And so that's going to be up in Marana City Court. You're going to get paperwork that has that address, okay? So that takes care of everything other than us getting that current address for you, sir. Okay, you are excused.
Grady? Take it over.
All righty, good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Hello, Grady.
Grady, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a charge that alleges that you committed stalking. The incident is alleged to have happened on August 15th of 2025. Also seeing you on a charge that you failed to appear on a criminal trespass in the second-degree allegation. The incident date on that one is back in mid-September, September 18th of 2024. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the, well, let me back up slightly. As to all this stuff, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you, sir. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. And so I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. You have an attorney seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for the hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial, the state's recommendation, and the information in the interim complaint. The state is recommending a $25,000 cash secured bond. And anything further, Mr. Kaler?
Your Honor, I would just note that the concerning nature of the allegations in the interim complaint, and that it does appear that Mr. Grady has a probation violation warrant out of California. And he does have that prior felony offense from California. For those reasons, Your Honor, I believe the bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you very much. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Grady has no prior violent convictions. He, according to pretrial services, he does have one felony conviction. But I would just ask the court give Mr. Grady another opportunity on pretrial services release.
All right, thank you. Given the information in the interim complaint, the court has concerns for the safety of the alleged victim in this matter, concerns for potentially other victims presently unknown. For that reason, the court is going to impose that $25,000 cash secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you are going to be released to supervision of pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact with the alleged victim. Do not go back to the alleged victim's residence or place of work. And that includes, I believe it's the Park Mall. Just a second. I believe it's Park Mall is where this is alleged to have taken place. So, sir, you're also going to be ordered not to return to the Park Mall at all. So do not go back to that facility, please. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing.
So
Hold on. Talk to your attorney first.
Your Honor, did you say Park Place Mall?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that takes care of it. Your preliminary hearing is going to be on Monday, February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office. They can keep you posted on all that. If you do bond out, sir, you're out of custody. You need to come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Also, Mr. Kaler did note, and the pretrial services notes, that you may have a probation violation warrant out of Fresno County for what appears to be a felony matter. I'm not seeing you on that this morning, but if that is something that the jail finds during their search, or they find a detainer associated with that, then you may be seen on that tonight, but that's not before me right now. Okay? Sir, you're excused. Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe he has a misdemeanor.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. So that takes care of the felony. And then on the misdemeanor, that alleges a failure to appear on a criminal trespass matter. And on that, I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond, just given that you're being held on the other matter. I'm going to hold you on this one as well. And I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. And that is going to be Carlos Betancourt. And so, second. Carlos Betancourt Morales, I should say, is his name. You'll have his information on the paperwork. And so you're going to be seen on that one for a hearing. It's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So assuming that you're still in custody, you'll probably be seen on video for that. And you'll have an opportunity to work with Mr. Betancourt. So that takes care of that. All right, sir, you are excused. Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Mina Russ Molina.
All right, Ms. Molina, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, you possessed drug paraphernalia. This is something that, let me take a look here. Looks like it's in relation to a matter that you've been indicted on out of Pima County Superior Court. The incident date is on April 3rd of 2024, so it's a little less than 2 years old. As to this matter, ma'am, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You are presumed innocent. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. And so I am appointing the Pima County legal defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in pretrial services, reviewed the state's recommendation, which is a $500 bond, and that covers it. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Nothing further.
Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Given that this case is almost 2 years old, she has no other history. She is a lifelong Tucson resident. I would ask for another opportunity on pretrial services release, given also the nature of the allegations.
Given the information that's before me, I do show that she's a 2 out of 6 on the NCA scale and a 3 out of 6 on the FDA scale. Given that, the age of the case, the nature of the case, the court is willing to give her another opportunity to come back to court. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, ma'am. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Also going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons and you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And your next court date is going to be an arraignment 1 week from today. It's on Thursday, February 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon, an arraignment in Pima County Superior Court. So it's really important that you come back to court 1 week from today, 1:30 in the afternoon for that arraignment, because if you don't do that, you may get a new warrant for your arrest. And, more consequences could come your way, okay? Your attorney is with a legal defender, so give him a call and stay in contact with them, and you'll be back to that arraignment in a week. All right, ma'am, you're excused.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Partridge?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Brian Partridge.
Partridge, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a couple matters. The first is a felony, and then we got a misdemeanor to follow. So as to the felony, the new felony charges allege that you committed organized retail theft, you possessed drug paraphernalia. This is alleged to have happened yesterday at a Target at 3900 West Ina. And then as to the misdemeanor, it's a failure to appear on a possession of drug paraphernalia charge out of Tucson City Court. On all this stuff, you're presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this stuff could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you. You have an attorney seated to your left to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the state's recommendation, and the information from pretrial. State's recommending a $2,000 bond. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, that's largely based on Mr. Partridge's felony history and the nature of those felonies. So at this time, I believe a bond is appropriate.
Okay, thank you very much, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Given that Mr. Partridge is accused of nonviolent property crime allegations, I would ask for release of pretrial services. However, if the court is not inclined, then I would ask for a nominal bond of $500.
Okay, thank you. So given the information that is before the court, including a 6 out of 6 on the NCA new criminal activity scale and a 5 out of 6 on the FTA scale, the court is going to impose that $500 cash secured bond. And if you post that bond, sir, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment they ask you to comply with. And additionally, your next court, you're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. It's going to be on Monday, February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so please stay in contact with your attorney at the legal defender. They can keep you up to speed on all that stuff, because if you, don't come back to court, it's going to be problematic. You'll get a new warrant for your arrest. Then we also have the matter out of the city courts. As to that, Again, alleging failure to appear in relation to a drug paraphernalia charge with an incident date of October 20th, 2025. On that, I'm going to release you on the city court matter. And your next court date is going to be a pretrial. That's going to be on March 12th at 2:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that says this. It's going to be in front of Judge Maldonado. Just a second. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I'm going to do it what's called a non-transport review, given that you're being held on the other matter. So, and that's going to be on March 13th. Sorry, March 13th instead, at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then that takes care of it, except that I'm also going to appoint the city public defender. So next court date, non-transport review, March 13th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And appointing the city public defender, you're going to be released on this matter. One last thing, sir. It's also the time set for your arraignment. It's important that you come back to court, not only because a warrant could issue for your arrest if you don't, but also trial could go forward in your absence on this city court case. And if it did, you could be convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, you'd lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand, sir? Yes. Okay. Have a good day.
Here's.
Good morning, sir.
Evening,
Could you please tell me your name?
Mark Pierce.
Pierce. This is your initial appearance. I've seen you on charges that allege that you are a fugitive of justice out of the state of Texas. Looks like it's Bexar County. And it relates to an incident that is alleged to have happened back on March 25th of 2008. So an oldie for sure. So you do have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this matter could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. And so I am going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you, sir. And so in order to prepare for this information hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, reviewed the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services, and also the information in the interim complaint. I am inclined to release to pretrial services given the age of this matter and yeah, pretty much that and the nature of the underlying conviction. So Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Nothing further.
And when I say underlying conviction, I mean underlying allegation. This does not appear to be a matter that has reached the point of conviction. All right, counsel for Mr. Pierce, anything you'd like me to know?
No, Judge, we also agree with relation.
All right. All right, very good. So that's what I'm going to do, sir. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services today's date. And so please comply with any monitoring agreement that they ask you to comply with. And your next court date is going to be a fugitive review hearing. And so that's going to be on the 17th. So that's Tuesday, the 17th of February at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in Superior Courts. And so it's important that you come back to that hearing, sir, because if you don't, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And so you're going to get paperwork that says where that is and all that good stuff. While this is pending, you're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And I would probably wait to even attempt this until after the hearing on Tuesday. But I'm also including in here that you may leave the state, you can leave Pima County only for the purpose of returning to Bexar County to resolve this matter if you see fit to do so. But like I said, I'd probably wait until after Tuesday to do that. Talk with your attorney at the legal defender. They can give you good counsel on that, okay? So let me just write this in and then we'll wrap up here. Alrighty, sir, that takes care of it. Thank you very much. You are excused.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Ruiz.
Ruiz, this is your initial appearance. Just a moment. It alleges, and so I'm seeing you on a warrant that issued, I'm sorry, yeah, an arrest warrant that alleges that you committed aggravated assault, serious physical injury, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, 3 counts of that, 1 count of endangerment, and then 5 counts of disorderly conduct with a weapon or instrument. All of these incidents are alleged, all of these counts are alleged to have happened during an incident that happened on February 3rd. So as to all of these matters, you are presumed innocent, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the matter could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney, and to that end, I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. You have counsel seated to your left to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services. I reviewed the warrant document that lists out just in line fashion only the charges that are comprised in the warrant, and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $75,000 cash secured bond, which is the amount on the warrant. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, I would just highlight the dangerous nature of this offense. Your Honor, in this incident, 1 victim was shot, 13 .22 223 caliber round, like shell casings, were found at the scene where the discharge came from. And witnesses reported after hearing the gunfire, they believe the weapon could be fully automatic. Given the highly dangerous nature of the incident and that someone was seriously physically injured, I believe a $75,000 bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you very much. Counsel.
Your Honor, may I have 1 moment to speak with Mr. Ruiz?
Yes, you may.
Your Honor, Mr. Ruiz has no prior felony convictions. He was not previously arrested on this matter. I understand that this was a felony warrant issued. He is a lifelong resident of Tucson. He is employed. Given all that, I would ask for release of pretrial services, but if the court is not inclined, then a significant reduction of the bond.
All right, thank you very much. Given the information that's before the court is going to impose a $100,000 cash secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services, so please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Additionally, sir, you're going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. If you have any firearms, you need to surrender them. So I'm also checking that on there. And so additionally, you're going to be ordered to not have any contact with the alleged victims. Do not go back to the incident location. And your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so just stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender because they can talk to you about that more. And one last thing, sir, if you do, it's important that you come back to court. If you do bond out, sir, it's important that you come back, because if you don't, warrant will issue for your arrest. Okay. Good luck, sir. Have a good day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name. Sanchez, just a moment. This is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed drug paraphernalia and that you possessed narcotic drugs. So you're presumed innocent of this, and so you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and I'm appointing, just a second, who's the attorney? Okay, so the legal defender is going to be appointed to represent you, so please stay in contact with them. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services and set a steps court hearing. Anything further, Mr. Kaler?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I am inclined to release to pretrial services at a steps court hearing. Counsel, anything further?
No, Judge, we also request, we also waiving time for
Okay.
the steps. process.
Thank you for adding that in as well. Thank you very much. So we're going to set your, you're going to get what's called a preliminary hearing set, ma'am. That's going to be on March 30th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And then also I'm setting another hearing. It's called a steps hearing 1 week from today. But before I do that, I just want to check in with you. So it looks like you're going to be eligible for a program called Steps, which is a really good deal because in my opinion, don't take my word for it, talk to your own attorney. But in my opinion, it's a good deal because it gives you an opportunity to get these charges dismissed without you ever being indicted, let alone convicted. So what's asked of you is that you would need to complete some drug treatment and you would need to, abide by some conditions. And if you complete that, then the whole thing gets dismissed and the case goes away. Is that something that you're interested in learning more about, ma'am? Okay. All right. Thank you. So good to hear. You're not obligated to do anything. You can learn more about it first, talk with your attorney. So that'll be helpful for you. The only thing that you need to do is you need to come back to a hearing that I'm setting 1 week from today. It's going to be a steps court hearing on Thursday, February 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be in Superior Court downtown on the 3rd floor in front of Judge Miller. Please come down for that hearing because you can enter into the steps program if you want to do that. You'll have an attorney there to talk to. And, it's all good stuff. If you don't come back, though, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could lose the ability to participate in steps. All right, that takes care of it. You are excused. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Nory Schmidt.
Okay.
Norris.
All right. Ms. Schmidt, this is your initial appearance, and I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed aggravated driving under the influence, specifically that you were wrong way driving on the freeway at such time that you were under the influence of alcohol. And you are presumed innocent of that, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this matter could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney during the pendency of this case, and I am going to appoint a second. It's going to be the Pima County Public Defender to represent you on that, ma'am. And so, and you have an attorney seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, to review the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation, which is that that I impose a $7,500 cash or secured bond. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, the allegations in this incident are that Ms. Schmidt drove the wrong way on the interstate, on Interstate 10. For that reason, I think a bond is appropriate at this time, and that's the reason we're requesting it.
All right, thank you very much. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Schmidt has no prior felony convictions. She has no prior DUIs either. She has no recent failures to appear. She does have confirmed housing. Her husband indicated he'd also be willing to assume third-party custody of Ms. Schmidt. And so given that, I would ask for an opportunity of briefs.
Okay, thank you very much. So, given the information that's before the court, very specifically the extreme danger that's posed by this type of allegation, you are presumed innocent of it. It is just an allegation, but the extreme danger that's posed by it, the court's going to impose a $10,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond and find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're going to also be ordered to not drive without a valid license, to consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. and possess no firearms or weapons. Again, your attorney is a public defender. Your next court date's a preliminary hearing on February 23rd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's actually going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, that's right, because it's Green Valley. And so stay in contact with your attorney. They can tell you more about what all's going on with that preliminary hearing. And it's important that you come back to future court dates, because if you do not do that, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Okay? Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Your Honor, can I just confirm the date on that
Yes.
preliminary hearing?
Yes. It's March 23rd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You got it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Matthew Joaquin Silva.
All right, Mr. Silva, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a couple different matters. The first alleges that you committed, you possess dangerous drug, you possess drug paraphernalia, and that you resisted arrest with passive resistance. That's the first two are felonies. The third one's a misdemeanor. This is all alleged to have happened. I'm sorry, you also shoplifted allegedly on January 27th, 2026. And then we have a new misdemeanor allegation that you possess drug paraphernalia, and that's alleged to have happened yesterday. So on all this stuff, you are presumed innocent. Anything you say about it could be used against you. You do have the right to remain silent. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, reviewed the information from pretrial services and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $1,000 bond with release to pretrial services if you post that bond. And the court also notes that you're a 5 out of 5 on what's called the new criminal activity scale, and a 5 out of 6 on that scale, and then a 5 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, this is a personal possession case, so Mr. Silva is eligible for a steps hearing, or we would request a steps hearing be scheduled. But, Your Honor, his significant felony history, I believe a bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Given that Mr. Silva is steps eligible, also pretrial services and reports that a friend said that he'd be willing to help with transport to future court appearances. And so given that, I would ask for another opportunity on pretrial services.
Okay. The court is going to impose a $500 cash secured bond. And if you post that bond, sir, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services, so please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Your next court date is going to be, I'm setting a preliminary hearing that's going to be on Monday, Monday, February 23rd. It's Monday, February 23rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. It also does appear that you're eligible for a program called STEPSR, which is a pretty good opportunity in the sense that, assuming that you're eligible for it and you complete whatever, just typically completing some drug treatment, then the case will be dismissed without you ever being indicted. So it's a good opportunity in my opinion, but you can talk about that with your attorney. Is that something you're interested in hearing more about, sir?
Yes, please.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to set what's called a steps hearing. It's going to be 1 week from today on Thursday, February 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's important that if you're out of custody, that you come back to that hearing, because if you don't do that, then a warrant could issue for your arrest, or you could lose the ability to participate in the STEPS program. And so that takes care of all of the felony stuff. And on the misdemeanors, I'm going to release you on the misdemeanors out of city court. Allegations include possession of drug paraphernalia a couple times, possession of prescription-only drugs 1 time, theft, resisting arrest. So on all of that, sir, you're presumed innocent just the same. I am going to release you on all of that. However, given that I am holding you on the felony, albeit on a somewhat nominal bond, the court is going to set what's called a non-transport review. And that's going to be on March 13th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says all this. And also going to appoint the city public defender to represent you on that matter, sir. And so on that. I'm also going to order that you not return to the incident location and have no contact with any alleged victims. And so that takes care of all of that. All right, sir. One last thing. This is also the time set for your arraignment on the city court matters. It's important that you come back to court because if you don't, you could be tried in absentia. That means tried without you being present at the trial. And if you were convicted without you being present and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Your excuse.
Simmons?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Just tell me your name.
Tion Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed aggravated driving under the influence. And that is the loan matter that's before the court. You're presumed innocent of that, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I did review the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $2,500 bond. And the recommendation does note that it looks like you may have a prior DUI conviction that was misdemeanor in nature. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, nothing beyond what's in the written recommendation.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. First, I would like to make a probable cause argument. In the interim complaint, Mr. Simmons is charged with aggravated DUI under A1, which is that his license was suspended. However, there's no indication in the interim complaint that his license is in fact suspended.
Just a moment.
I just
I tend to agree with counsel, Mr. Kaler.
Your Honor, I know Mr. Simmons has the previous misdemeanor DUI, but I don't have any other information to share with the court.
Right. Given that it's not part of the probable cause statement and it would really need to be in the court's estimation, the court finds that there is probable cause for a misdemeanor, but not a felony. And so for that reason, the court is going to order that Mr. Simmons is released from custody today's date as to this matter, which is what I'm obliged to do. So Mr. Simmons, what this means is, I mean, the obvious part is that you're going to be released today. Probably doesn't mean that this case is gone for good. Okay. So it's important that you know, in fact, I'm going to order the release, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with the appointment of the legal defender and all of the other things. So I'm going to release you on your promise to appear as to this matter, sir. And your next court date is going to be on March 4th. That's Wednesday, March 4th, 1:30 in the afternoon for a preliminary hearing. I'm going to order, even though it is just a misdemeanor, I'm going to order that you not drive without a valid license and you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And so please don't do that. And then legal defender's your attorney. So the good news is you're getting out today. The bad news is that you could still get indicted for a felony. So it's important that you stay in contact with your attorney at the legal defender because they can keep you up to speed on all that. All right. And keep you, give you the most current information. Also, let's see. Also, let me ask you this. So do you have a current address, sir?
I currently got back from Alaska probably like 4 or 5 months ago because I had to rush down here because my mom recently passed away. So I don't have an address right now.
Okay.
But I just started work.
Okay.
We could say Miranda.
Yeah,
I live in Miranda.
Yeah, that's fine. So just make sure that your attorney at the legal defender knows that, because what's going to be important, sir, is that if you do get indicted, it's probably you're going to get the normal process is for you to be sent things in the mail that tell you of that. So just make sure that your attorney has your current address once you get one, if you get one. because that's just going to be helpful for them to make sure that you get all the information that you need to get, sir. Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right. You're excused. Have a good day. And then can I see that back actually? Right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Mark Steele.
Mr. Steele, sir, this is your initial appearance. So it looks like you've been arrested on a charge that alleges, a couple of things I'm seeing you on. The first alleges that you committed driving under the influence, and then it looks like you may also have an out-of-county warrant on a misdemeanor matter. All right, could be a felony, actually. We'll talk about that in a moment. So first things first, as to the new arrest, this alleges that you committed aggravated driving under the influence sometime yesterday up in Oro Valley. So you're presumed innocent of that, sir. And you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about it could be used against you. And so I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you on this. And it's going to be the public defender, sir. And so please stay in contact with them as this case plays out. And in order to prepare for this hearing, or review the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $2,500 cash secured bond. Mr. Kaler, or anything further?
Here's that Mr. Steele has a pending DUI out of the Globe. I believe it's Globe Justice Court. I believe that's a misdemeanor, but it could be incorrect. And he failed to appear at that for that case. So, Your Honor, because he has the pending DUI and the nature of this case, I'm asking for that bond.
Okay, thank you very much, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Steele does have confirmed housing. He has confirmed employment. His last felony conviction is from 2004. I believe his last conviction for the Globe, Arizona DUI was from 2018, which is also quite some time ago. So given that, I would ask for release of pretrial services.
So it does appear, just for the record, I'm looking at pretrial services information, and it does appear that, and I believe the next matter we talk about will be this Globe matter. It does allege that there was a failure to appear warrant that issued on January 3rd of 2019, so a little over 7 years ago, as it relates to an extreme DUI allegation out of Globe. Given that information, the court is going to impose and the information of the new allegation, the court is going to impose a $2,500 cash secured bond. And sir, if you post that bond, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. And you're also going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons. Do not drive without a valid license, and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on Monday, February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. So please stay in contact with your attorney so you can have a chat about that with them, and they can keep you up to speed on everything. Also, sir, it's important that you come back to future court dates, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. So that takes care of the felony. Next, we have the, I'm sorry. The other matter that I'm looking at here is it alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a misdemeanor charge of theft by control. This is out of Apache Junction Justice Court. And it looks like the incident happened sometime in 2025, so sometime last year. And on that matter, I'm going to release you on it as to that matter. So if you're out of custody, it's important that you either go up to Apache Junction Justice Court, and the address is going to be on the paperwork that you get. You need to either come back to that courthouse and handle that hearing, or make arrangements to get it continued if you can make it up there in that time. You can call the courthouse. They probably have a website. They will have instructions on how to do that. The next court date for that is going to be on February 26th. So that's 2 weeks from today, 11 o'clock in the morning, up in Apache Junction for a case management conference. So you need to either be there or make arrangements so that you can get it continued. All right, sir, that takes care of that. You are excused.
Wait.
Good morning, sir. You do tell me your name.
Final wait.
Hi, Mr. Wade, this is your initial appearance, sir. You have been charged with one count of aggravated driving under the influence. It's alleged to have happened this morning. And you're presumed innocent of that, sir. Anything you say about it could be used against you because you do have the right to remain silent. And so you also have the right to be represented by an attorney. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you, sir. You have an attorney seated to your left. She's going to help you out this morning. And so for the purpose of today's hearing, I'll review the information from pretrial services and the information in the interim complaint and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $2,500 cash or secured bond. Mr. Kaler, anything further?
Your Honor, I just wanted to confirm that you were able to review my updated recommendation.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, I did. I just got it a moment ago. I do see the reference to being on probation for a misdemeanor DUI 2024. So I appreciate that updated information. Anything further on that, Mr. Kaler?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Way has no failures to appear. He's a lifelong Tucson resident. He is employed full-time, and his girlfriend indicated that she'd be willing to assume third-party custody of Mr. Way. So given that, I would ask for another request an opportunity for services for Mr. Way.
All right. Thank you very much. The court is going to impose that $2,500 cash or secured bond. Sir, if you post that bond, you're going to be released to supervision of pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment. Be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons. Do not drive without a valid license. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, February 23rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney at the legal defender. They can talk to you more about what's to come if you do get indicted. Other than that, it's important you come back to court dates because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Yep.
All right, sir, you are excused. Have a good day. All right, counsel, that's it. Everybody have a great day and a good rest of the week.
Thank you as well.